Monster Hunter Wilds is filled with different mechanics, systems, and menus that can be pretty intimidating, whether you are new to the series or you are a veteran of the franchise. And if you are like so many people out there that just skip through all the cutscenes, tutorials, and menus that teach you how to work these systems, look no further than this video because these are 6 tips, tricks, and little secrets that will help you to be the best Monster Hunter that you can possibly be. The first thing that we are going to address is what might be the most annoying feature in the game. Have any of you jumped on your Sacred only to see it go sprinting off into the distance with 0 to no control over it, even though you haven't set a waypoint for it? Well, there's a very quick way to adjust this and make it so that this does not happen anymore. To stop this from happening, all you need to do is open up your options menu in the first tab under gameplay settings, make your way over to the 3rd page, and you will see an option that says Sacred Auto Explore. Go in there and turn it off. This does not actually make it so that your Sacred stops the moment you jump on it, but what it does is it stops your Sacred from sprinting off like Keanu Reeves in Speed with no waypoint in sight. Maybe the most time-consuming thing that you can do in Monster Hunter Wilds is manage your items. That is, if you don't know how to change your loadouts. This is something that in Monster Hunter Worlds took me about 50 hours to figure out that you could do, and I felt really dumb after not knowing that this is something you could do. So you just need to head to your tent, pull up your transfer items, and then in here you'll see where all your items are stored and kind of your items you currently have on your person. What you can do is actually register different loadouts depending on what weapon you're using, maybe what you're trying to do in the game. One of the great things this does is anytime now that you go back into your tent after a hunt, after you've been exploring, gathering resources, is just pull up your loadout that you want. And just like that, you are set to go on your next hunt with all the items you stored in that previous loadout. What this also does is it alerts you and tells you if you don't actually have the items to fulfill your request, but then you can just either craft them or go out and collect more. And speaking of crafting, something that you absolutely need to do is set up your auto crafting menu. Why, you might ask? Well, what this allows you to do is when you are out in the world exploring and hunting, when you pick up certain items, it will automatically craft those into certain things that you want. This is a fantastic system that can very much come through in a pinch, and it can save you a lot of time. I personally like to always have autocraft turned on for potions, upgraded potions, and anything that cures status ailments. That way I don't ever need to worry if I have enough of those. And if I don't, I just run back out in the world, pick up stuff, it autocrafts. It's great. Probably the most important of all these tips that I'm going to give, especially when you are out on a difficult hunt, is setting up your radial menu. This is a menu that quickly allows you to select healing potions or just a nice little emote for your friends or companions. It allows you to craft things on the fly very quickly. If you don't pay attention to any of the other tips, this is the one I recommend you do the most. Set up your radial menu. This can be done from the tent or it can be done just walking around. Just so you know, if you're on PC but also using a controller, the F2, F4, F5, and F7 keys correspond to the up, down, left, and right on the D-pads. So that way you are not having to do any weird diagonals or anything like that. Just a little bonus piece of information there. I like to have one of my menus set up for healing and other different status effects like that, as well as using my whetstone. I like to have one of the radial menus set up for crafting, quick crafting, any of those various things that I had on the other menu. I always have one set up for social stuff, so emotes and poses. That's great to have to bust those out on the fly. And the 4th one I usually use is for ammos and things like that. But right now I'm using melee weapons, so I don't really care about that. Cooking is a mechanic in the game that can be as complicated as you want it to or as easy as you want it to be as well. I can make a separate video on that, but for now, just if you are looking to figure out how cooking works, just know that you go to your tent, you can cook a meal. If you don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, just do recommended meal, and then you can add various ingredients. It auto adds them for you. It's a great way if you don't really care, just want some basic buffs to your health and stamina, and to get back out there hunting. If you want to do more nitty-gritty, then there is a lot of other options for you to customize your meals, and you can save those for future use. Like I said, it can be as easy and simple as you want it to be, or as complicated as any other system in this game. One of the big buffs to cooking in this game, though, is the fact that you don't need to eat between every single hunt. It just sets a time limit, and it carries over until that time limit runs out. You might need to eat again just to increase your stamina, but that's about it. It lasts for about an hour each time. It's amazing. Cooking is so much better in this than any other game. The last tip I have in this video is one that is for any of you that have maybe busier lifestyles or, like me, have a newborn in the background that might need you to jump up and stop playing at any time. And that is to play in the online single player. What this does is creates a instanced game for you and you alone. You can still send out SOS flares if you want to, but if you choose, you can actually pause the game whenever you want. It's great. Oftentimes I will have to get up to help either my wife or my baby, and that way I can just pause the game, go do what I need to do, come back later, and the game is still here waiting for me. This is such a simple addition to the game, but also a tremendous one. One of the biggest issues I have with a lot of games as of late is the always online criteria. I'm fine with games being always online if they allow you to pause. So this is awesome because a lot of us just, well, I'd say the majority of people can't just put their lives on hold for hours on end. So that brings us to the end of the list, and I hope this was helpful to you guys. If there's anything else I didn't add on here or things that you want to see in another tips and tricks video, be sure to put them in the comments below. And if you want to support the channel in a deeper or more impactful way, you can also become a member. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single Monster Hunter video, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.